So what I really enjoy from this series overall is that I get this sort of I guess I enjoy watching like when we see Art the gang, our main group in the show, when they evolve to ogres or whatever they evolve to, and then it's just interesting to see how they um interact with those evolves, like new skills and everything. And I especially like our MC, that big ogre with the leader, I guess, because he to me he really has a realistic mind of everything. Like the survival of the fittest. He takes no prisoner. Communication is very important in war, like he said in the last. Gave he gave the elf some kind of communication, we saw, to the leaders, so he can communicate. Because um there was so overall there was so we pretty much see this whole war go break out. So we see in the beginning where we see these RMC pretty much, they see these 12 human I guess troops or whatever, and the plan is to kidnap the princess, the elves. And this really brought up a good observation um from our main character, and he says, he says there must be someone, there must be a traitor in their circle, because how would they know the exact route they went? So I'm very glad that he's very realistic. He has a very realistic approach. Like, he's not abusing his power, even though he gets a lot. He evolved, and with everything he eats, he gets these broken abilities. Like we saw in this episode. Later, he got an ability called exoskeleton, and we saw him use it. Pretty much, like, it creates an armor around his body, and we see an axe hit it, and it like kind of reverberated, I guess. It like folded, so like it 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 like cushioned the impact when it hit the armor, so nothing happened to the wearer, but just armor, like I said, just cushioned it, and then revert went back to being an armor. So I thought that's really broken, but I'm glad to see he's not really abusing his power. He's kind of going at it from a realistic point of view, and especially I like the things towards the end. So these elves come to their camp, to their cave, to ask for help, because like I said, we see this war between elves and humans are escalating. Like we saw in the beginning, like I said, we saw those 12 humans try to capture the elven, this high elf daughter of the leader, but thankfully our main character stopped them in their tracks. So the daughter was safely returned to the leader. But now, fast forwarding to the last part of the episode, which I enjoyed. So we see these, I guess, elves. They were kind of sent as an envoy or messenger, whatever. And the elf, he explains more calmly. He says, we just want your help because, we're noticing that this war is slowly ranking up, between us and the humans, and we'd like your help to, totally annihilate them, pretty much. And to this, he accepts. Obviously there's an exchange. He says, here's the reward. He takes it, and then he says, give this bracelet to your leader. And he explains that it's a communication device. And then I guess the elf, agrees to that, and then they leave with the device. I'm assuming they're gonna give it to the leader later on. But I really enjoyed that little section, that little detail. He says, information is also a very important thing in war, and that's true. And that's where kind of my appreciation comes from. Like he's coming at this from a very realistic uh, point of view. Like he's not abusing his power. Even like I said, even though he's very broken, like his abilities and his evolve, is not. We don't see him really like I guess like we don't see him go crazy with power. We don't see him abuse it. We see him like once he doesn't get power hungry. Instead, when he gets more power, he like tries to show his friends or his, I guess, family in his group, oh, do this like training. Like I'm glad to see that he doesn't really abuse his power, even though he's very broken. Like I'm glad that he's very like down to earth with everyone. Like, oh yeah, just do training. Like he's not there abusing power. Like, oh, do this, do that, I'm powerful, then do this, do that. No, it's very down to earth, and everyone respects him for it. And that's why I think this show is so likable, because of his personality. But to the main objective, so they at the end though our main character accepts that we're gonna help you, and then as we see the elves leave with the communication bracelet, we also see a little detail. We see him that he also sent a clone to kind of observe the forest, like he has eyes in the forest, like I'm guessing to make sure like they actually leave, instead of like pretending to leave and then leaving some troops in the forest without the ogres knowing, and then those elves were probably gonna be touched with spine or whatever. So I'm glad he comes from a very realistic perspective, because that could actually happen. So I am glad to see that little detail that he sent his clones in to watch the forest. But moving on to what happened after. So after they leave, he kind of announces to everyone. He says, starting today, we're a mercenary group. And to me, what that implies is that he explains kind of, he says, we're professional fighters, he says. But we all know what group of mercenaries are. And I think this is a good direction he's going, because, like I said, he's willing to help other people before reward. So when, like, example for the elves, if the ogres were like, yeah, we'll help you, you don't have to give us anything, but we'll help you out of the goodness of our heart, and the elves will obviously say, oh, thank you. But eventually, over time, he realized that they'll betray him, like they'll take advantage of his kindness and kind of push their limits. And so he realized this way, like asking them for kind of reward for services is like mutually beneficial, because the elves know that, yeah, you'll 100% keep to your word, like help us annihilate for this reward. So yeah, that kind of makes that, I feel like that's a really good direction that they're going, becoming this mercenary group. So and with him also, little thing I wanted to ask. So with him becoming a mercenary, I wonder, like, assuming that there's more races out there than the elves, because we already were introduced to the elves and the humans. So assuming that there's more, I guess, races out there, I wonder how many other races, after the ogres obviously deal with this human elf war. I do wonder how many other races are gonna watch that battle, and then maybe in the future, when they have they need help in a war or something, I wonder how much of them are gonna go to the ogre and say, help us do this and we'll give you this as a reward, because once again they're a mercenary group. I forgot, Paul Blumet or Paul Blumet or something. I don't know, but it was you'll probably hear it in the episode if you watch it. One other small thing is that we also witnessed a bunch of evolutions in this episode. So to go over the evolutions real quick, so the goblins that are part of our main characters group, like those 8 goblin females or whatever, it seems like they evolved to other races. So like an ogre, half lord, a lord of the earth, or whatever. They evolved to different races, and we see those people, like obviously they're in, and then we also see other people, like not from the main group but from the general population. The other people, we see them also evolve, but they don't really evolve to like anything special. The main character kind of explains like, oh, the rest kind of evolved to hobgoblins. These it's not much of an evolve, but it's better than goblin. Now they're like hobgoblins, so they evolved. So we do see a lot of people evolved in this episode, and like I said, it is especially in the main group of our main characters. And the one thing and he even questions it, was that, so we see these tattoos appear on their arm and everything, and my theory is because what if these tattoos are also a physical representation of like a God's blessing, because everyone that has that tattoo appeared on them, our main character explains that, the reason their skin color turned blue or red or gray or whatever, it's because they have the blessing of this God. So I wonder if the tattoo is also another sign of like, yes, this person has my blessing, so don't mess with them. I feel like maybe that's kind of a sign of like their blessings. But yeah, overall pretty cool episode. I really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed them finding out like their powers and how to operate it, I guess. And I guess a small detail that I do find comedic throughout this whole series is that I've noticed that during the latest episodes, it's like each time there's like they don't show it, but they obviously, like, our main characters, he's having a good time with like groupies, with multiple women, and we kind of see like, we don't see them like actually in action, but we see like how many people he does and groupies and everything. And so yeah, just kind of thought that kind of like a funny bit throughout the whole series. I just thought it was a funny bit. But yeah, overall I think this series is awesome and I can't wait to watch more. But I think I'm just gonna end it here. Please leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.